Good evening, folks. So, excuse me. I don't know where my cold is coming from. But yeah, starting to see some people filter in gradually. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you all for coming on this weekday evening. Happy Hump Day to everyone. I hope you are all doing very well this evening or morning or whatever the case may be for you. So what I'm thinking of doing today is, well, I think this painting has come up a few times, and basically I need to bloody finish it, because I think what normally happens is I don't do a lot of painting like this. You know, I don't do a lot of painting like this professionally or personally. Most of my work is done using a sort of, you know, ZBrush paint over workflow. So this is fairly unusual for me. And for that reason, I don't know why. I've started a few paintings and I've not finished them. So I feel like, well, I need to finish some. This one I think I started back in November, and again, it's not that I'm really slow, it's just that I've not worked on it. In fact, I got a painting from back in 2024 that I've not finished yet, that I should finish. Maybe I'll show you. Why not? Why not? This is a sharing platform, I guess. Yeah. And I reckon this is so old now that I've probably improved a bit, and I think I could do a better job of it. Yeah, I could definitely do a better job of that. Well, firstly, I decided to change the composition, but now I need to fill that in and do all this stuff in the back and just have some good references there that I can use to fill that out. But yeah, this has been languishing for years now. I mean, Jesus Christ, over 2 years, which is just lame. So yeah, like I said, I just don't finish paintings, which is rubbish. So, I mean, if you guys like watching people paint, I figured I'd just like paint it here, you know. If you want to watch me do anything else, yeah, if you want to watch me do, so I was just worried my microphone wasn't on. If you want to watch me do anything else, I mean, do feel free just to message. You know, I might do like half of the 2 hours in ZBrush, half of the 2 hours here, or I could just do this for 2 hours. It really is up to you guys. No one seems to have an opinion either way. So, so with that being said, I will just carry on. I'm assuming people like watching this, but if any of you want to see me demonstrate any particular workflow, again, I am all ears. I've taken what was it? What was I about to say? I've taken requests from Mr. Pat Imrie, who wanted me to draw him a Kelpie, which I think he might be modelling sometime soon. So there is that. There is also, what is there also? No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so if you want me to demo anything in particular, just tell me. You know, I am here to kind of show you what you want to see. I mean, hopefully that overlaps with the things I'd be doing normally. But yeah, as this is on Firestorm stream, you know, and as Firestorm is a organization that, you know, aims to provide mentoring and services across a variety of disciplines, you know, I can show you all a variety of disciplines. I'm sure not everyone here wants to do concept, right? So, you know, I do know my way around ZBrush, if I do say so myself. So I can definitely help any of you out there if you need it, or we can just keep on painting. It is very relaxing. It's really like, oh, I just don't have to. I don't have to think very much. I can just carry on. This is kind of a stage of a painting where you just like have to, I don't know, just lock in and kind of, you're just reinforcing and tidying up what you've already got. So, I mean, in many ways, it's kind of the most suitable thing for streaming, I guess. But in many ways, it's kind of dull, perhaps, because you don't see like the huge changes in. You don't see the huge changes in a painting that you get if you kind of catch it at the right stage. You know, if you kind of catch it earlier in the process. But anyway, I think lots of people have success. You know, just streaming the entire process. You know, however long it takes. I don't know how long I've spent on this, to be honest, I think. But yeah, these can easily, I'd say, run into the tens of hours. I don't want to be dramatic, you know, I'm not going to say hundreds of hours, because, you know, that's a little bit hyperbolic. But, you know, this sort of work can definitely, you know, run into some pretty long time scales. In fact, one of the things I'd like to learn how to do is kind of learn to be a little bit more relaxed about the level of finish I give things. Just because I think it would let me sort of move on quicker. And I think past a certain point, I'm not like sure I'm doing a huge amount to improve the picture, to be honest. You know, like maybe even these last steps I'm doing here, like would anyone notice if I didn't do them? You know, I'm not so sure. But you know, having taught loads of people, I think lots of people have a kind of like perfectionist sort of streak in them. I think it's quite a good thing to try and control, right? Because I've seen it can be quite destructive. But you know, I think the only way to get good at any particular discipline is to get kind of obsessed with it on some level, and you know, obsessing over the same picture for a gajillion years is, well, I think it's sort of seems on brand, right? I like to redden up the occlusion shadows, particularly when they're for like skin parts, but I don't know if you guys know this, but I can't see reds properly, so that may be too much, but whatever. Like I said, we are practicing detaching from the outcome and learning just to move on. Just wondering how big my image is. That's pretty big. It's pretty large. I feel like if I went any larger, my computer would have things to say about it. Especially since a certain Windows 11 upgrade. You know, I thought as number went up, OS is meant to run better, but you know, I mean, that's just my old-fashioned boomer thinking, apparently. So you can see I'm just refining lines, I think particularly around the face. You know, the faces are sort of our primary focal point, right? So you want to make sure it's nice and crisp. It's nice and crisp and detailed. As you can see, some of the brushwork we're adding there. And I think when you create a hard edge with these textured brushes, I don't know, there's something about the noise you get along that edge just makes it, yeah, it just gives it a little bit more bite, right? It just makes it gives it that sort of hyper-real look. Or like it makes it look sharper than sharp, right? You can sort of see it there. I guess because it looks like aliasing, doesn't it? Oh, okay. Well, now that I've said that, I'm not sure it's a good thing. But anyway, let's just continue. So these little highlights underneath your cheek, I kind of want to add a little bit more texture. So I don't want. Do I want to use this one? I'm not sure I want to use this one. Let's see if I can find another brush. These ones are pretty good. The gouache. So at the highlight here, I kind of want a little bit more sort of noise and bite and texture, something like that. I can just use the smudge tool to take out some of it. Right. I mean, we're working with sort of very limited value range here, so I'm not sure how much is showing up, if at all, but I know there's little bits of noise. I reckon people pick up on them. And so this sort of outlining that I'm doing here, I'm going to focus now on the sort of eye area. There's a little bit too much texture in this brush. It's making it a little bit hard to get the precision I need. Also some sort of funny color interactions I've got going on here, but we will deal with those in due course. So ideally I want actually this part here above the eyeball to be nice and rounded, because that will start to turn the form. I'm going to go for a sort of cool eyeshadow, I reckon. And that's going to go across the centre there. Too much? Nah. Too much, not enough. Too much is never enough. Okay. This highlight here needs to kind of be almost the sharpest thing in the picture. So I'm just going to tidy that up. Alrighty. God, I feel like I should be more intentional with my eyelashes, but I'm scared. Scared, guys. Also, it's been really interesting with the all the stuff that's happened with NVIDIA this week and their yassification filter. It's made me, you know, as I'm doing this, it's questioning, you know, do I want to like make, you know, do I want to perfect that feature or really, you know, just tidy everything up? You know, because I mean, from what I can see, like, you know, gamers are pretty discerning about their visuals, right? You know, so, you know, I'm not sure I want to make everything like glossy and perfect, you know. Or maybe I do, I don't know. Just trying to soften this transition here. It's a tricky one because the back of the nose is actually going to be the same, pretty much the same value as the thing behind it. I think I've gone overboard there. Let's just bring that out a bit. I don't know what possessed me to make the shadow that shape. Look at this. That would not cast a shadow that shape. Clearly a bit delulu. Mind you, I'm not... Oh god. Like, you know, doing faces gives me a little bit of anxiety because you can just change like one thing and then suddenly you've like screwed your portrait and you're like scrambling to make it look good again, which I think is in danger of happening here. I just feel like that would be up there, wouldn't it? Yeah. Right, let's just leave it rough. You know, like Peter, you can leave it rough. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It'll all be fine in the morning. In the morning. Okay. Just sharpen that point up there. You know, I'm not sure if that's right, but I'm just going to go with it. I can't stress to students, like, close enough is often good enough, right? You know, as long as you're not sort of alerting people to the fact that you know, you're maybe not 100% sure of something, just blag it, and it'll all be fine. It will be fine. I should take in the care not to over-define, you know, things like the lips here. Yes, there are going to be corners where we want a little bit of that sharpness. But otherwise, you know, a lot of the transitions of the lips are fairly soft. So, you know, I'm not going to overdo them. A bit of texture along the terminator, sometimes helps, sometimes not. just gonna like build that up and just knock it back with the smudge tool. It's an important point though. I think many artists turn to texture too quickly, right? And you should only really do it once you've got the majority of your picture working. Otherwise it's just really a distraction. I think I need some references for what the corner of the mouth is doing. Yeah, I feel like that needs a little bit of a... Well, it's not quite right. But also, I don't know, kind of not hugely bothered right now. Okay. Let's just try and get the colour of the mouth on the other side. Let's get some colour in here. This is really one of those really weird things that I really love about colour, right? Like this looks kind of blue, but it's only because it's surrounded by so much orange, right? Because you see it's actually a grey. It's actually an orange, right? But it just looks grey because of the surrounding colours. Celt Surprise. Again, simultaneous contrast. One of many subjects I can mentor you on at Firestorm Studios. Okay. Let's get some. I want to see how an actual blue light. Yeah, you got to be careful with this because sometimes you put it in, it's way too strong. I say way too strong. It's a little bit dramatic, but strong. So, mind you, it's such a tiny area. I'm probably just fussing over nothing. So let's just inject a little bit of colour there. That's a little bit strong. Still strong. Maybe it's alright. It's just a tiny section. Don't think anyone's going to be bothered. Yeah, and I guess these reflections should line up with the ones next to them because they are, after all, the same thing. And then maybe there I can just punch up a little bit of blue. See how that looks. A little highlight there. Maybe just a sprinkling of colour either side. Just to give it a zhuzh, right? A little bit of sparkle. Alright. Just get any reflections on top of the lip. Lips. Okay. Oh right, sometimes you get a little highlight in there. But I don't know. I think that's only if you've like missed with your lip gloss, surely. I should ask Heather, she knows about makeup. Let's see if this works. Put a bit of a highlight up there. I'm going to put a bit of a highlight up there. Turn the top of the lip over. She looks like she's got fillers. Okay, maybe we should have that, but just a little bit less obvious. But this is what I mean. Like you're just like a subtle like value out, and suddenly she looks like really like yassified. Moan, moan, moan. Painting's hard, guys. Painting is hard. Also, I do think yassified is such a great term. I guess we're sort of yassifying her right now, isn't it? We're in the yassification phase. You know, basically just doing like a bit of retouching. But yeah. Always room to save, guys. If you've seen what it means, how much time it takes, I've just gone over a tiny, tiny little area. And I can switch to something else. Honestly, guys, don't be shy. If you're bored of the painting, you want to see something different, or you have a burning question for me, just let me know. Oh dear, yeah. Okay, so let's bring a little bit of this colour over to that side. I don't know quite what I was thinking there. But yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, to be honest. Let's just take another look at that. At least the good thing here is you can just like colour pick next to it and you don't have to do too much thinking. God forbid, we don't want that. But as a genuine sort of aside, I think it's important to reduce decision fatigue, right? I think it's a genuine thing. Like one thing I would suggest is, you know, do your high priority things. You know, the things that require a lot of thought. Do those kind of when you're not knackered, right? So I am very much against toxic work practices, right? But I do work late at night. I do work until quite late at night, and you inevitably hit this sort of wall where you're not, you know, you can't sort of really make any decisions because it's just late in the day. You're winding down. That's probably when I should go to bed. It's probably really unhealthy that I stay up looking at a blue screen and fucking up years and years, or millennia even of evolution. But yeah. But sometimes you just need to paint into the night. It's much easier to do stuff like this, right? Just render. It's much easier to do stuff like this when you're tired, as opposed to, like I said, the tricky stuff, right, where you have to make loads of decisions. It's actually how I can paint, I think, and yak to you at the same time. Like, I definitely stream some things, and I have to code switch. Like, I have to think. I have to think about what I'm saying, and it sometimes screws up what I'm doing, and I get really confused. Anyway, we have some comments. Hello. Yeah, I'm always complaining that no one wants to talk to me, and I think I'm very friendly. Sort of. Sometimes it depends. I'm not friendly to AI bros, but okay, yeah. Hey, what you do today? I am painting today. I'm painting. I was lecturing painting. I went climbing. So I do climbing, which I think honestly is quite good for your back. It sort of stretches you out. And also I find it's good for my hands, right? Actually, I get a lot of pain here. And it hurts, and I think climbing sort of helps with it. This isn't for a game. This is a concept for the studio. So this is well, you know, we've got lots of modelers in the Firestorm family. If any of them want to model her, they just need to let me know. So no, this is just for Firestorm Studio, and someone who wants to can model it should they so desire. I'm not going to force them, but yeah, no. This is Miss Firestorm. So it's a tribute to the Firestorm logo. Look, she's got a flaming skull on her head with a flaming hair and a flaming armor, and this is meant to look like a little skull. See what I did there? I hope you're all really impressed with my cleverness and my creativity. So yeah, there you are. So yeah, she's it's not for a game. It's just something that I like to do. It's something that we like to do, and also, I mean, it just helps me. It just helps me get better at painting. So it's win-win. How to find a modeler? In all honesty, I'm probably not the streamer to ask something like that, but I would try game jams. I'll try game jams. You know, you got to reach out to people. You know, lots of people do work for free on pictures and vertical slices and stuff like that. So I've done free work for not studios, for creators who are trying to get like a particular passion project, or you know, who are just trying to get something out of the door. But you generally have to make the case, right? I feel like people will work for free if you can convince them that, you know, your game is like really fun, and you know it's like a really cool project. You know, I think if you're asking someone to come onto your game for free, you know, the onus is on you to sort of prove to them it's going to be worth their while in terms of like fun or enjoyment. So yeah, it can definitely be done, but it's not just a case of, you know, you can just rock up and ask anyone. You need to kind of make it worth someone's while, right? So when I've worked for free, it's been because, you know, I thought their story of their IP was really interesting and potentially really cool. And maybe, you know, long term, maybe further down the line, it has the potential to go somewhere, right? But yeah, yeah, it's like just to form relationships, you know, and then it's like working on a project with your friends. Either that or game jams, you know, I hear are quite good places to sort of network and find people with whom you can collaborate. But yeah. Yes, but are some of your friends a 3D modeler? Are you friends with a 3D modeler? I think that's the key. I'll put it back to you this way. Would you work for free for a complete random? You know, and let's say you're really busy at the same time. It's also difficult because, you know, because you're all working for free, like, you know, you're going to prioritize, you know, you're going to prioritize paid work, right? So that's kind of the other thing you gotta be mindful of. It's just like, yes, I might be working for, you know, working for someone else's passion project, but yeah, if some paid work comes along for me, then that's probably going to take priority, right? So I think, yeah, just reach out, be nice, and be kind of a little bit more casual about it. I think because you don't have the right to like order people around, you know, if you're not paying them. I think if you are paying them, you know, most people only take a certain amount of bullshit from each other. So, yeah, like, you can definitely fall out over stuff like this. So, yeah, I don't know, just take it easy. But yeah, you basically have to network in some way, you have to meet people who can model for you and, you know, sort of make it worth their while in some way. I think that sort of idea puts a lot of people off, but honestly, it's just like making friends. How much would it be? I don't know. I mean, I'd say most junior modelers, you'd have to pay, you know, at least. Again, it depends. Like, lots of people will accept like a lower wage if they're really fans of you or fans of the project. You know, but if you're paying kind of like market rates, I don't know, for a junior. I'd say it kind of starts at a couple of $100 a day, maybe. Yeah, probably around that. I think you basically large enough to need a budget. You need a budget, man. Okay, official Dave movie. Have we met on LinkedIn? I feel like we might have connected on LinkedIn. Yeah, hello if it's who I think you are. But if not, thank you for introducing yourself. God, this music's a little bit gloomy, isn't it? Music on or music off, guys? I kind of want to. I kind of want to just stop sharing my desktop audio and put on my own thing. So I'm just adding texture flowing with the form to, well, to make it look like hair, right? So yeah, the sort of flowing brush strokes, hopefully giving it kind of like a sense of life. Just trying to bring in some forms there as well. Just probably want to be a sort of quite dark saturated red. I cannot paint ears to save my life. That is a little bit rubbish. Oh, don't tell Heather, she'll fire me. Yeah, that is what we call a pants ear. I'm going to fix it later. Don't think it's... Yeah, just a little bit of... No, maybe I'll do it now. Will this work? Just need to knock that back. Actually, I noticed something that artists do. They sort of limit the value range in certain places. So maybe I'll do that. It might help with the read a little bit more. What brush was I on? There we go. Okay. Yeah, that was it. So, yeah, let's start zhuzhing. So, you know, as I do this, like the various forms in the hair gradually become clear. At least that's the flipping idea. That's what I'm hoping will happen. If it doesn't, I will just get all flustered. Okay. Yeah, so you see as I've gone over there, there's like a little sort of ball of hair emerging there. I don't know, I feel like I should really study properly how to do this. But there you go. I mean, technically hair is reflective, so, you know, presumably there should be some. Does that look good? Does that look good, guys? Maybe she has like a metallic hair dye in. That's what sometimes some people do. So metallic would mean that the reflection is that colour. Which I like. I like that. I think that's better. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. It's decided, everyone. So one of my students was a hair colorist. I could do with his advice right now. Be like, James, how would you colour her hair? And I think it's given it a nice sort of pattern. You know, and it's that curl that's definitely got a lot more form now. Looks like a little cinnamon roll on the side of her head. Okay. Oh God, just the rest of her to do. Okay, you know what? I'm a little bit bored of working on her head, and it's not like there's not a lot else to work on. So I think I'm going to just start moving around the body, lest you guys are bored of just looking at her face. Hopefully it's a nice face, but again, like I feel like moving on to something else. So let's use Gouache Go-Go, and I'm basically looking for parts of the painting that have, you know, a little bit too much of this black shown through. I honestly don't think it's a bad thing at all with this to kind of have like black shown through. I mean, you can sort of see a little bit up here, there. You know, I think honestly it kind of works. But yeah, like bits like here, it's probably not for best painted. So yeah. Oh, in fact, this whole arm, this whole area. So let's take a look at her arm. Oh god, and you zoom in, you can see all the flipping mistakes. Jesus. Blah. One thing I've noticed about this brush in particular, or these brushes in general, is that if you make them too small, like say like under 10 pixels, you lose all the sort of definition in the brush head. So I think maybe I ought to just, you know, do most of my work using my sort of workhorse brush, which is this one, you know, and then we'll go back to all the other brushes to, you know, to fill in the rest and give it like a bit of texture. Which now, as I said, is kind of like the last thing you should be considering, the last thing you should be thinking about. Okay. So you can see it's just sort of a process of going in and correcting as you go. That's why you shouldn't be really, you know, I always say to students, don't try not to be scared of it, because you know, the whole point is that you correct as you go. You know, that could be a little bit brighter. Yeah. Etc. 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 I'll stop that now. I'm sure most of you have not logged on to hear me hum along to the stream music. I mean, it's pretty catchy in a background sort of way. Oh, I thought that flow was low. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, getting rid of those lines slowly but surely. Okay. So we have been going for nearly an hour. So a bit of a non-story to relay here, but I was making dinner this evening and I was adding some soy sauce and I accidentally chucked a whole load in. But, you know, waste not, want not. I just continued as normal and ate it anyway. And now I am gagging for a drink. So I am, you know, I'm going to step off shortly and glug a load of water. Do not fear though, guys, I will be back for the next hour. So I'll be on until guessing 10 in the evening. As soon as I can be bothered to put this down. I might wait until it's like 8 o'clock sharp. Then I'll move on. Just bluing up these shadows a bit. So exposed to quite a lot of white light. There'll be white light reflecting off a dress here. Sometimes it's fun to see how far you can push the value. I'll go to there. It sort of yeah, there you go. It looks like it's sort of melting into the melting her surroundings there. Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. This isn't like super taxing stuff. Like, it's just like, oh, black line there, paint it out. I think the thing you have to watch out for here is just make sure you're zooming out a bit. So when you're streaming, it's actually kind of handy because you get a preview where you get like a smaller version of your work. So that makes it harder to get fixate on all the little details. But you can just see there how I've painted out all the dark lines there, and you know, sort of necessary for realism because you know there are no lines in nature. So keep breaking that one out with my students. There are no lines in nature. Remember that. You get sort of optical phenomenon that look like lines, but actually no lines. So sometimes we make our paintings look worse if we try and overstate. Things like that. Okay, so these places, they're good for like little dark occlusion shadows, right? You see how that can help define some sort of juicier folds. Oh god, yeah, you see how yeah, it's almost like never ending because like you fix one bit and then you see that makes all the other bits next to it look unfinished. So I think we'll probably be carrying on with this tonight, just because no one has piped up to say that they don't want to look at any more of Miss Firestorm. So yeah, we'll just be carrying on. So I hope that's okay with you all. If it isn't, I mean, please feel free to say so. To be fair though, you'd probably just leave, wouldn't you? So I'm conflict avoidant. I'm just going to step out of this stream. And to be fair, I can't really blame you for doing that. I think it's probably what I would do. Okay. I'm going to go get a bottle. I'm going to go get a bottle of water. Just going to save before I step away. And yeah, I will see you back here in a few minutes. Probably hear me thundering back up the stairs to come see you. So yeah, see you in a bit. Okay. Okay, incoming! Incoming! There we are. That's the right one. Great. Okay. So, yes, fixing. Fixing all this stuff that needs fixing. I think. Right. Okay. I mean, I wonder if sort of music off is better, because that way you can have your own soundtrack instead of my elevator music soundtrack. I feel like Mario would like it better as well. So he's the guy who edits all the clips out of these. Yeah. Well, we can just see what happens. So I'm listening to Tin Liquor, and then I'm going to see them on Saturday, and then again in June. Cannot wait. Love them. Yeah. Every time I've seen them, it's been like mental. Super loud. Like, yeah. So that is what I'll be doing this weekend. It's not a done deal, but if I was asking you for... Oh, God. Je ne suis pas un modeler. I'm not a modeler. But if you're asking me for a 3D model... oh, God. I don't provide production-ready models. But I would imagine you're looking at in the region of a few £100. Depends how complicated it is, of course. But yeah, I'd say it's a few days' work. Yeah, a few £100. If it was a really complex model like this, this production ready. Yeah, if this was production ready and all this detail was modeled, I think that's sort of a timeline of weeks. Then you're talking thousands, over 1,000, I would say. But honestly, I'm not the best person to ask. If you drop in on Heather's streams, and I think Heather is streaming tomorrow. Is that this week? Yeah, if you drop into Heather's streams, she'll be able to give you a better answer, because she actually quotes she does her quotes for the studio, right? And she's actually a 3D modeler, so I think she'll be able to help you out there. Yeah, if I was doing a concept sculpt for you, which is a 3D model, but it's not necessarily production ready. Oh God, that would cost you in the region of 600, 700, I reckon. It would be a nice model, but yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. I think honestly, if you can, it's great working with people in like game jams and stuff. I think it's a really nice way of working, but yeah, I mean each way carries its own pitfalls. I guess the main disadvantage of finding professionals, that professionals are expensive. You're paying for decades of combined study and skill. No matter how much the AI bros would like that not to be the case, you're dealing with some very highly skilled individuals. Can you sing along to copyrighted music? Badly. Yeah, that's one way around it, and you get to pick up some awesome skills in the first, you know, in the at the same time. But yeah, it is expensive. You know, this is the thing, right? You know, it's quoting for professionals. So you know, these are studios with budgets and big overheads. But honestly, like, you know, just make some friends, get them to, you know, get them on board with your project, and yeah, go from there. But yeah, that whole networking side of things, that's really hard as well. That takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. So her skin feels a little bit ashy down here. God, I don't know why that is. Let me warm up those tones there. Ah, okay, yeah. Yes, yes, I can imagine that. Yeah, you'd probably not have that budget. But yeah, those are sort of rates that you'd be you'd be quoted, I think. Yeah. Well, you know, if you're looking for mentors in 3D modeling, you know, ask around, right? But you know, Firestorm, right? Firestorm can teach you all of that stuff, right? Can set you up with your own mentor for your own personalized journey through the world of 3D modeling. Yeah. Check out the website. What's up, Split Specs? Do we know each other? If not, lovely to meet you. No, and join us from YouTube. Excellent. How are you, Split Specs? What's up? Ah, okay. Excellent. Are you a modeler? No worries. No worries. Hope we were of some help. And it's great that you're already thinking about what you want to do with your life. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm not sure how many people we have in here of high school age. But yeah, very nice to meet you. All the best, Mirage. Yeah, and thanks for the questions. It's nice to have someone to chat to. I am good. I'm good. Not pushing too hard at the moment, but you know, spending lots of time painting, going to a gig on Saturday. Life is good. Life is great. I just have to ignore what's happening outside of the world. Oh yeah, and was it DLSS? DLSS 5, all that stuff. That's been hilarious to watch. I think, I'm not going to lie, that's made my blood pressure go up a bit, but it's also been kind of funny. Like, those memes are amazing. Yeah, the memes have been amazing this week. Very enjoyable. A novice generalist. Excellent. You know, technically when I was in industry, I was a 3D generalist. I think it's a good way to be. You know, on the first movies I worked on, I got to do lighting, texturing, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, you get to try lots and lots of different things, and I think it keeps it interesting. You know, and you see a whole, you know, film all the way through production. It's yeah, it's kind of cool. Whereas I think if you're stuck on build or lighting or look, if you just get ferried around all the different shows, you know, it's a little bit bleh, a little bit less fun, I think. And we were all novices at one point. From acorns grow, young man or woman, or they, them. So there I can see what my tidying up phase does. I always like to leave on that second layer because it lets you see, you know, let's just keep track on what you're doing. Maybe it could be. You know, that was originally what the idea was. Yeah. Yeah, I think Heather was going to take her on, but I don't know when that might be, because she's got a load of different concept art to sculpt. Young man it is. Oh, well, yeah. So I don't know is the answer, but well, I guess I need to finish the flipping thing first. I need to finish it first, which is why we are here this evening. So I need to finish the damn thing first, and then what? Then yeah, you know, it might be picked up by one of the sculptors. I'll see if anyone wants it. You know, I'll just put it on the server, and yeah, I think it'd be a fun sculpt. You know, I designed it to be a juicy thing to sculpt. If any of you are wondering who he is a demo I did for my class. So that's why there's a random robot in the corner. I was demoing lighting to my class. What's this? Ich bin heute tanzen. Ich bin heute tanzen. See, back in my day, well, I sort of fell out of texturing before it was. I sort of fell out of texturing before I had to really do anything with it. But yeah, that was kind of what I did. Not stylized though. This was for film, so photoreal. What it kind of was just like, you know, flopping a big photo onto a UV map and just like working out the joins. Oh, that's terrible, man. No, no. Well, why not do? Well, I suppose I mean, I used to use photos a lot as a base, but like, I don't know. In substance, I'd probably just flood it with a color, flood it with something procedural, bake that out, and then paint it on it over the top. As I said, though, it's kind of, it's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like to shame people. I feel like if you feel guilty, maybe you know what you're doing is wrong. I don't know. I think honestly, like in industry, it's a little bit more ambiguous. You know, like I keep referring to this guy I know in industry, but I had a little chat with this guy in industry, and he said they're using it a lot. And the guy I'm talking to is kind of a very, he's like a real artist, right? He paints, he goes to life drawing, you know, and he says he's sort of in two minds about it. But I can sort of see, you know, when I was a concept artist in film, I can sort of see the advantage because honestly, like a lot of it is looking. A lot of it's just finding the correct photo. It's just finding the perfect photo, right? Something that's the right angle, the right lighting, right perspective. And to be honest, I think I can see it being quite good for that sort of work. But again, you know, I didn't particularly enjoy doing that sort of work. You know, I'm not really in the industry in that capacity anymore, not doing that sort of work. I'm trying to be more selective about the work I take on now. And yeah, things are different now. But yeah, I can definitely see some use cases for at least what I was doing in film. But you know, there are lots of things about working in film that are like, yeah, maybe not quite what you'd expect. Dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. starting from scratch is demotivating. I mean, it's kind of, you can always just flood it with like a base color or procedural or something first. But I think from lots of people, yeah, like overcoming the empty page is a big thing. It's a big deal. And I think the way to get good at overcoming the empty page is to overcome the empty page lots of times until you know how to do it. I think honestly that's probably the thing that's going to separate out you guys, you know, how good you eventually become at sort of locking in and stopping procrastinating, right, and moving on to doing what you need to do. Okay, that little blue I'm putting there, we need some on the inside as well, I reckon. So I'm just blocking colours right now. Oh dear, oh dear. But what sort of assets are you texturing? Split specs. Are you texturing your own models? And what you're doing, like hard surface, that sort of stuff? Characters? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you've got to work, you know, you've got to do things in a way that's motivating, right? And for many people, that's that means doing things in a way that lets you see results, right? So you can see the fruits of your labours, right? It becomes exponentially harder if it gets sort of exponentially harder to motivate yourself if you can't see the end goal, right? And if you don't see, you know, what all this is in aid of. me myself, I'm very much of the school of thought over its foundations upwards. But obviously, it depends on the person. I think it'd be interesting to see your work, see what it kind of looks like to you. She blew me, run this town, run this town. You gotta customize your body to doing things, getting shit done. Place it on the whips. Let's see. Ah, whips. Ah, nice. And your sculpt, it's about the guy you're texturing. Are you modeling him, texturing him? Some kind of bug-faced dude. Do you want a crit? Let me know. And brace yourself. So yeah, when I teach, it's very it's very much not like sending your work to your mum, right? I say how it can be improved, which some people don't like, and they're welcome not to use my services. But my goal is to get everyone I teach as awesome as possible, as quickly as possible, right? And if that means pointing out what they could do better, well, that's what they get. Jujutsu Kaisen Mahoraga. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. That's a cool design. Amazing. Wow, he's been hitting the gym. Oh yeah, it'll be super cool, man. That's good, man. Keep going. So split specs, are you aiming to be a character modeler then? Or are you just experimenting, you're finding out what disciplines you like to do? Or what you don't like to do, right? That's just as important to work out your formative years. What don't you want can be just as instructive. Do this anymore. Don't wanna do this anymore. Oh, Jesus, excuse me. Yeah, man. Actually, well, I don't know. I'm in agreement with that. Like, yeah, like I think sometimes if you're so focused on the end result when you begin, you just don't do anything. And then, yeah. I mean, when it's finished, I'll probably post it somewhere. You know, I'll ask Heather. Heather gets first dibs, but you know, I don't know if, yeah. I was going to ask if Firestorm runs competitions, but I guess it needs prizes to run competitions. Do this anymore. Don't wanna do this anymore. Oh no, I was singing along to the song. I wasn't saying I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, I think people sometimes wonder about, like, you know, like, why is it so hard to, like, sit still and do something? I honestly, like, if I wasn't sort of streaming now and if there weren't people watching me, I would be really feeling the temptation to just go on YouTube and watch all the, you know, just watch random content, right? So yeah, it's funny. I do really enjoy drawing and painting, but it's not like a crazy high, right? I was used to think there was something kind of wrong with me because I didn't actually want to draw all the time, and I had to, like, force myself to sit down and do it. Yeah, like, I always have to sit down and do it, but when I've done it, I'm really glad I've done it, right? I feel like it's, in many ways, it's the purpose, it's sort of my life's purpose, right? Sit down and draw as much as possible. You know, of course, juggling that with all the other shit I've got to do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've always had to work at sitting down and doing things. It's a real, it's a real. It's always been hard. Excellent. Well, animating is a beautiful art. It's a difficult art as well. Okay. We're coming up to the 2-hour mark. So I think I will change tack. We will look at something slightly different for the last part. Or will we? I don't know. I don't know. It's like you were saying split specs. It's like, well, I don't know. You weren't saying it. I'm just sort of like segueing. But I don't know. It is like, sitting down and doing something like this. It is like you're playing with a game with yourself, like to not get distracted and not go do something else. And I think the thing about streaming is that you can't. It sort of removes a bit of that temptation. It's kind of why I sort of was intrigued by doing it to begin with, because, like, I can't say I've never really struggled to be productive on other people's behalves, right? But when it comes to working on my own portfolio, or my own content, or my own skill development, I'm always like dragging my heels unless I'm in like school or something. So, yeah, for me, it's like been a great way to just like force myself to lock in. So it's like, well, do I actually have to work on something else? Can I not, try and complete this task? Because I've also noticed that, what have I noticed? This is where I get streamer brain and like, the language centers of my brain just shut down and refuse to work. Just like blah, 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 blah. I can't remember the point I was going to make. I actually can't remember the point I was going to make. But yeah, was also stuck on the basics with it. Then what's advice to animate? What I enjoy first, rather than good or something. Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. That was it. Yeah. Yeah. Showing up for yourself for some reason is just super hard, isn't it? But it's important, that you show up for yourself now. Because I just think more and more like companies are dickheads. Sorry. Not all of them. Not all of them. Of course, we have lovely companies. Lovely companies like Firestorm. But yeah, I think and this isn't my own fault, by the way, but I do think, every artist has to build their own brand. You have to build a presence and let people know who you are, so you can't just be prompted away. You got to show people what you do, and you got to, you've got to build an audience so that, if the sort of the career doesn't work out, you know, you've got other things that can, other projects that can sort of sustain you. But yeah, that's exactly it. Like when you're working for yourself, it's just like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, you know. And before you know it, like, you know, your life sort of disappeared and you're like, you've not done what you should have done for yourself, right? And that's really tough. Yeah, time waits for no man. So the Massive Attack song goes. I might play that now, actually. Going to try and bounce a little bit of this. That'll do. A bit of this bluish tone into the underside of here. Just get some colour mixing going on. Just to sort of merge that in there. It's sort of gonna kind of helps blur it with that white background. See, normally I tell people not to paint on a white background, but for this one it just seemed to be a kind of more natural choice. Nice bit of trip hop for this time of the evening, which of course none of you can hear. One man's trouble, one never relaxes. Batteries drawn. Sometimes. I mean, that's sort of quiet part of the stream now. Where I'm like, what's the thought and how to verbalize it? Hi, Pat! Hi, Pat! You made it. You know, I was just thinking I'm going to stay on a little bit more because this is like, I don't know, it's kind of relaxing. It's kind of relaxingly productive. God, you've been online for ages. Of course you are, man. You are one of the dedicated ones. I can sense it. I can sense it. Split specs. I've heard that though. I think lots of people use it to lock in, don't they? Yeah. How long weren't you on? Oh God, you've nearly gone 3 hours. Good job. Pat on the back for Pat. That's good. Did you get into it? What were you sculpting, man? God, this is just like the worst. Everyone who's dropped in right now, you've dropped in at literally the worst part of the stream. This is like the most uninteresting part of the image. Oh God, I crack myself up sometime. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, fine. I will work on a more interesting part of the picture. Right, so as you can see, I was like working on the worst bit of her. So yes, we'll move down the body to a part that's a little nicer to look at. Deal. Yeah, I didn't realize, honestly. I just sort of it's like, oh, I'll just work on that. I guess I did work on it at this scale, and then she's just like peeking her head out. Cool. Oh, so you're doing a ZBrush sculpt of that. Awesome. Everyone follow Pat. I mean, genuinely, everyone follow Pat. I mean, I guess you all know who he is by now. Just taking a little break for a couple of weeks, and then he shall be back on Firestorm's channels, I believe. Is that the plan? That schedule looks empty without you, man. It's like there's a gaping pat-shaped hole in the schedule. Back around March 30th. That's awesome. Awesome. I was going to say, like, are you doing any nice hikes with all the nice weather? But I don't think it's super nice weather where you are, is it? I think there's like a band of rain. a thin band of rain going across the UK. Another feeling you're under it. Oh, okay, yeah. Sounds about right. It was absolutely glorious today. T-shirt weather, guys. T-shirt weather in England in March. I even did a class earlier today in a T-shirt. There you go, for the first time in months. But I did get a little bit chilly. I did change eventually. Yeah, it was like I took my sweater off because it was hot, and then I was like, oh, I'm cold now, but I didn't want to interrupt the class to put it on again. So, yes. What are we doing? Empress Tiramisu. Oh, hello. That's a great name. Very good. That's like a drag queen name. That's amazing. Empress Tiramisu. That's really quite spectacular. How are you doing, Empress? Hope you're having a good evening, if it is the evening for you. I'm just... Oh. It's not... No, because it's your drag queen name. Oh. Well. Oh, were you annoying Pat during his stream? I don't know. No, you know, honestly, like, I think, oh my God, wow. This is a layer check. Do you know what layer you're on? Good point. I am actually not on the right layer. Yeah. Good spot. Good spot. Yeah. Yeah. You got me. We all need some of that. I think tomorrow I'm going to have some me time. Tomorrow I'm going to have some me time. Which for me is going down the dump and gardening. I tell you, very middle-aged hobbies. Very middle-aged hobbies now. It's just crept up on me. Just like, oh, I'm going to clear out the house and garden. Oh. I assure you, my friend, my garden is very safe. My garden is incredibly safe. Actually, no, that's true. I can see myself twatting myself. It's the only place in the house where I have to regularly get up on a ladder. And I do climb, so I do know how to keep my balance. At the same time, you know, if you forget where you are, you know, I think it's quite easy to hurt yourself. So, no, thank you for that. But no, I don't have to do any work at height at the moment, which is good. GB Audios and Empress Tiramisu. Okay. GB Audios. I swear, these names, you guys, how did you come up with them? So, I don't know how much Firestorm's viewership crosses over with people who watch Bridgerton, but there is a beautiful rendition of The Night We Met, you know, using like a string quartet, and it's absolutely beautiful. The original song is beautiful. And guess what? One of my flexes is I actually found out about Lord Huron before 13 Reasons Why. So I'm very proud of that. I feel like that's loads of people though. Like, you know, if you know of a band before, like a series makes it famous. Like it's a little bit of a flex, but that's probably just like no one actually really gives a shit. But Lord Huron, excellent music if you like that sort of stuff. Oh, watch people who watch Bridgerton. I mean, watch it if it's your thing, right? But yeah. To be honest, it's got some really weird fans, like fans you wouldn't like normally expect to like stuff like that. Like my sister's brother-in-law really likes it, and he's like, you know, he outwardly projects like that he's a very blokey bloke, but then he likes watching Bridgerton. So God knows what's going on there. I think I'm sort of altering the value structure of the hair a little bit too much. So I'm just going to try and control it. Not too much, but yeah. It's getting there, I think. Oh, what's that? I made a mistake. I mean, the face is approaching the level of finish that I'd sort of hope for. I'll have to... Something's not quite right here. This is for Heather. But, you know, Heather has a big list of things to model. So it is... Heather's got a big list of things to model, so she might not get around to it. In which case, it's for whoever wants to pick it up. Whoever likes it enough to model it. So I guess Andre, Pat, you know, they're like, if they like it enough, they're welcome to pick it up. Yeah. Yeah, who is this? This is Miss Firestorm. Yeah, so if you look kind of closely, you can see it's based off a Firestorm logo. That being the skull, and then the flaming red hair are the flames. So this is Miss Firestorm with like the worst painted ear in the history of humanity. Jesus. Ugh. Yeah, do you see it now? Shall I get the oh. God, I tried to find a version of it's not low res. Find no non-low res version of the Firestorm logo. Maybe that's intentional. Oh, she's backwards. Oh well. Like I said, Heather's busy, so you can totally sculpt it if you want to. I mean, I think you've got a lot of sculpting to go through first, so I've got some time to finish it, from what I gather. But thank you. Thank you, Bread. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think it's probably yours. I feel like Heather's got enough on her plate. I feel like whoever wants it can get it. It kind of needs someone good to I don't know what's going on here, to be honest. So it would need a like an actual like modeler who knows what they're doing to do this bit. Because you can't do that thing you do in industry where you're like, oh, you go back to the concert, ask them what they're modeling, ask them what's going on here. I'm like, how should I fucking know? I only drew it. Yeah, it's office politics. No. I'm not sure I've got the best brush here for like these metal bits, but then we can't go back. I suppose I could always do another one. Did I tell you? Oh, I've been commissioned to write a werewolf before. Write a werewolf, draw a werewolf before. Did you know that? And it wasn't by Pat. It was... Do you want to know some more? It was a very muscular werewolf, sort of lifting its victim above his head in a show of strength. It had certain undertones. But it was a lot of fun to do, I mean, in fairness. Like, like as anyone knows who's like studied art, you spend a fuckload of time like learning how to draw the muscles and how to draw like naked people and actually drawing naked people, right? Life drawing and stuff like that. And then you have to go and put a load of clothes on them. It's just like, what a waste. So, actually the chance to draw like a shirtless, muscular werewolf, like, why the hell not? And paying client, But I'm assuming that's not the sort of werewolf art you would want, Pat. I don't get that sort of vibe from you. The furry vibe. Yeah. I'm not sure that deserves that capitalized cool anymore. Do you know, this is really random, right? I don't know if you agree, Pat. You might think, oh, Peter, shut the fuck up. You're really like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But the werewolf in Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban, it's kind of skinny. That scared the shit out of me. I don't know why, but I think it's just, I think the fact it was skinny, like, it just disturbed the hell out of me. I don't know why, and I wonder if it's just me. But, like, I thought, bloody hell, that's creepy. Because, like, I guess, when you see a werewolf, it's, like, really big and, like, yeah. I was like, oh, my God, I don't like it. Mummy. Yeah. Do you know anyone who worked on it? Yeah, totally. Yeah, that design really creeped me out. Oh. Yeah, it's a little bit before I got into the industry. So, it's a little bit before I got into the industry. So, yeah, I don't know. And also, it was a frame store, wasn't it? Was it a frame store thing? So, yeah. but I would like to meet them and shake their hand. No, when I joined DNEG, DNEG had just worked on 5, Harry Potter 5. So I sat in the first room I sat in. I was sat with the ladies who knocked down the Hall of Prophecy in Harry Potter 5. So with all those globes, and then they sort of come down like dominoes. Absolutely brilliant simulation. I absolutely love that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, really cool. Really cool ladies. Yeah. I don't know if they're still in the industry, to be honest. That was over. Bloody hell, that was 20 years ago. So maybe not. But God. Yeah, so 2007 was when I first joined the industry. So bloody hell, where has that time gone? Bloody hell. Oh, wrong layer. Well, you can kind of see all the stuff I did this evening. I think that's kind of pretty on its own, don't you think? I feel like there's an artist who paints like that. That's 3 hours work, you guys. Okay, so I was painting on the wrong. I feel like a shoulder pad looks like that more. Oh, maybe this should be the Firestorm logo. Oh, I don't know if I can draw it though. I think it probably should be. Oh, damn it. I'm not sure I can be asked to draw that tonight though. I'm going to put it off till later. Yeah, I'll put it off for another 15 minutes and then I'll maybe egg myself on and do it. Yeah, that would work way better than whatever the hell that is. It's like, damn it, why'd I have to think of that? It's like, brain, just keep your mouth shut. I feel like this brush isn't the most appropriate for metal. Should probably use something a little bit smoother. Gesso? Gouache. No, that's still a little bit grainy. Maybe that. Let's have a look. Of course, the problem with having such a huge brush set is I can never remember which brush I've used. So... I don't like that one. It's not free flowing enough. I'm not sure if any of these are free flowing enough, to be honest. That might work. That's all right. Thank you. Yes, yes. See? To be fair, I don't think you're the only one. I don't think you're the only one. Sometimes you can't blame the viewership. You got to blame yourself. But yeah. Ta-da! It's a very stylized skull, in fairness. Can you attach to 3D models? I mean, God, I used to. I never textured characters, but I did texture lots of buildings, lots of vehicles. Yeah, mostly buildings and vehicles. So I textured some. Yeah, I've textured loads of oh God, I said I textured loads of buildings, but I can't name an example. If you've seen Insurgent, so the sequel to Divergent with Theo James and Shailene Woodley, there are a load of shattering buildings in Insurgent, and I textured those. I don't know. I think I think I can show that here. Yeah, because there's nothing weird on my YouTube. Where is it? The Dauntless simulation. Oh yeah, I worked on that as well. Where is it? Oh God. No, it wasn't. Oh God. Yeah, was it that? I can't remember. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't find it. Yeah. Oh well. It's just a load of shattering buildings. But yeah, I used to. I mean, I wouldn't. So I wouldn't like take on work as a texture artist now because I feel like I'm a bit too like out of it. Like I never really got into using Substance Painter and stuff like that for my workflows. Having said that, I've played around in Substance before. I don't think it'll be too difficult to learn. Because I used to use Mari and Mudbox as well. Used to be a thing when back in the day. So yeah, I think I'd be alright again. But no, I wouldn't sort of. Yeah, I wouldn't say I would do it unless I was really forced. No one's forcing me, are they? No. No, give me texture. No, texturing's fun. I like texturing. It's like painting. Well, it is painting. So let's just mix a little bit of colour. No, again, the brush has a little bit too much texture for that to work. What new? Okay. This feels like it's got a little bit more form now, even if it's a weird form. Okay. So I'm going to step out for a second, get a drink, and then I will keep going with this, and we'll see where we get to for another like maybe half hour or so. But I think it's come a long way in what's it, 2.5 hours. Definitely tidied up a lot more of it. Probably still a few hours more work to get it. I think to I'd be happy to hand it off to someone. But yeah, I'm getting there slowly but surely. Okay. See you in 2 segundos. Oh, sorry guys, didn't realize you probably hear me chewing, which is, I don't know, kind of grim. It's pretty late here, and I've got to water my plants. If any of you have been to my previous streams, you will notice that the living wall behind me is gone, because it's now light enough. At least for now, it's kind of light enough for plants to just be by the windows now. But yeah, I do have to water them as well, and it's getting late. So yeah, I will just continue on, and we'll see where we get to. I don't think I'll be here too much longer. But thank you for all of you who've stayed with me for 2.5 hours now. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's a hell of a long time to spend listening to someone just yak. Yak, 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 yak. You're in South Africa. Wow. Is Heather like recruiting loads of people from South Africa? That's amazing. Where in South Africa are you from? I've got a friend in I can't do it. Oh god, I can't do it. It's so hard. I can't do it. I can do it, but I can't do the G and the click. But he's in PE. Yeah, he's in Port Elizabeth. So it's really funny, but like because they changed all the place names over while he was here, and so I just rang him up one day. No, I think it was in person actually. I messaged him. I messaged him. I need to get my story straight. I messaged him, and I said, so yeah, the name of your hometown has a different name now, one that you can't say, and it was like what. So no, Gauteng province. Oh, okay. So near Kruger. Yeah, is that near Kruger National Park? Ah, very cool. Wow. Wow. Fascinating country. For sure. Wow. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Oh, so you're near to Johannesburg. Amazing. I can't do it. I think it's almost a bit of a flex if you can do that. Good. So if any of you are wondering, I'm not having a seizure. It's the Gqeberha, that place name. It's got a click in it. So you have to say a G, but also at the same time kind of go. And I think there are different ones as well. There's like, yeah, they're like 6 different clicks or something, and they all mean different things. So yeah, so so that's why I'm making weird noises like that. But yeah, that's my friend is. He's down on the south coast. What's it? We flew out together in 2023 to go to Rocklands, which, if any of you don't know, it's a bouldering place. it's a place for bouldering down on the south. Well, no, it's in the Cederberg, which is an insanely beautiful part of the world. And yeah, it was stunning. It was stunning. And then after that, I drove myself around the Garden Coast, which again was really, really just stupidly beautiful. Yeah, and that I had a really nice time. Had a really lovely time. So yeah, beautiful country, that's for sure. But yeah, thank you for staying. I think that was the point I was making, wasn't it? Yeah, thanks for staying so late. I mean, it's again, dedication, right? But yeah, I will let you go to bed. Well, you can go to bed whenever you want, can't you? No, you have to listen to me. I think everyone's different though. You know, from what I understand, most people seem to be night owls, right? And I mean, you get these sort of people who go, oh my god, I'm up at like 5 in, but like they go to bed at 9 or 8 even. So like, well, you know, if you've already been in bed for like 3 hours, well then that's just the same, isn't it? Same amount of hours in the day that you're kind of using, right? So you know, it's not actually a net sort of difference. I think there may well be health benefits to waking up early, but I don't know. I just can't drag my lazy ass out of bed that early. So yeah, no worries. It's very late for you. To be honest, I think I'll probably log off myself soon. There we go. Well, we've put the last bit on. I mean, it's wonky. I need to adjust it a bit. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. And yeah, like, follow. Oh, I think we've got 3 new subscribers, or 2 new subscribers. Sorry, I need to hook up the alert thingy that tells you when someone subscribes, because I need to shout you out, but I don't. Yeah, I should raid Polly. Yeah. What should I do? Raid Polly. Yeah, but anyway, oh yeah, that's true. She's right. Okay, yeah, definitely. I will do that. Yeah, but otherwise, thank you all for joining. Yes, go check out Polio Ilia. I think I said that right. Yeah, go check her out, because she has started. But yeah, if any of you want to keep with the streaming, go raid her stream. But otherwise, thank you all for joining. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know the drill. You can subscribe to my own channel, which is Okenpodemol as well. So that is my channel. Follow Brad. So follow BR3D. Again, brilliant channel. And Pat's going to be back with us in like 2 weeks, I think. Loads of streaming pretty much every day of the week now. Yeah, I don't know. I it's just like I can't do a sales pitch after 2.5 hours. But you guys all know we make it very easy for you to discover all these wonderful resources for you all. Hope you've all enjoyed. Hopefully Miss Firestorm will be finished at some point. I don't want to leave this forever and ever. And then maybe you will see her animated and modeled at some stage down the line. But anyway, thank you all for joining. Thank you for your support. It means a lot. All of you go raid poliolia, that one. And have a great evening. I'll see you all later.